I was never the loud one in the family. Not the favorite, not the rebel, not the golden child. Just Emily, the quiet helper, the invisible glue that held things together without being seen. When my grandparents passed, I didn't expect anything. I had cared for them out of love, not obligation. But when the lawyer opened the will and read out the inheritance centrally, 900, 0, all left to me, something shifted in the room. My mother's smile vanished. My brother Ryan looked like someone had punched him in the chest. That's when I knew. They wouldn't accept this. Not from me. And so, while they whispered and schemed, I stayed quiet. Not because I was afraid. Because I was ready. By the time they made their move, I had already made mine. And when they tried to steal what was mine, they weren't just walking into a house, they were walking into a trap. The will reading took place in a quiet office downtown, the kind with too much mahogany and not enough warmth. My grandmother had loved roses, so I brought a single one and placed it gently on the table before we began. My mother rolled her eyes. Ryan tapped impatiently on his phone. I sat still. The lawyer, Mr. Holbrook, who had known my grandparents for over 2 decades, cleared his throat, adjusted his glasses, and began. He read through a few formalities, then paused and looked directly at me. To Emily Barrett, he said, we bequeath the entirety of our estate to your home at 214 West Grove Lane, all investment accounts, cash holdings, and the remaining shares in Barrett Timber Inc. Silence. For a second, I thought I had misheard, but I hadn't. My hands stayed folded in my lap, but I felt my mother's eyes boring into me, sharp as ice. There must be a mistake, she said too quickly. Dad would have never left everything to just her. Mr. Holbrook raised an eyebrow. This document was updated 2 months before Mr. Barrett passed. It is legally valid and witnessed. Ryan let out a dry laugh. Well, good for you, Emily. Guess playing nurse paid off. I said nothing. I didn't remind him that I had spent nearly every weekend of the last 3 years helping our grandparents with everything from medication to mortgage renewals. I didn't mention that he hadn't visited once without announcing it on Instagram. Let them think what they want. That was part of the plan. I stood, thanked Mr. Holbrook, and gently slid the rose back into my bag. My mother's voice followed me out like a curse, low and bitter. You don't even know how to manage a house like that. Maybe not. But I knew how to protect it. The truth is, I had been preparing for that moment ever since Grandpa told me quietly, over a cup of tea, that he had changed the will. He didn't want it going to Ryan, and he didn't trust my mother. You're the only one who listens, he said, the only one who shows up. I didn't feel triumphant walking out of that office. I felt a responsibility settle on my shoulders, but I also felt something else I hadn't felt in years. Control. And I had every intention of keeping it.